systems are in a constant state of emergence. Culture really is the personality.
Hello everyone, I'm Noopur and I'm excited to have Marita Fridjhon with us, who is going to speak at the Leadership Summit 2023 about dancing with emergence, creating systems inspired culture. Hi Marita, how are you?
Hi there, I am good and it's a pleasure to sit with you. Thank you.
It's uh, it's a pleasure for us as well, Marita, and thanks for joining us. Marita, to know you a little better, can you please share three adjectives that describe you the best?
I love that question. It had me, and I noticed that when I think about it, it shows up different on different days as well. I think that I think of myself as an explorer, and I think that I'm bold and envision places. But I also, the other word that shows up for me is heart. I feel like um, I do things with and from my heart rather than from my mind, although my mind is there. So bold and visionary and heartful.
That's great to know, Marita.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Marita, if you weren't an author and CEO of an organization, what other profession you would have chosen for yourself?
Um, that's different from where I am now or what I am now. Yes,
Mhm.
I think that I would have wanted to be an explorer, and whether that is exploring different continents and discovering things, or just it's a little bit of what I do now: travel and move and get to know different places, but to more do that for a living rather than visiting to do training or. But so explorer, one way or the other, explorer.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you like to spend your free time, Marita? When you're not training, when you're not with your teams?
I love to do stained glass work, so I do some stained glass, and um, I love animals. So I've got a small French bulldog, and playing with him and walking with him is fun. And visiting with friends is precious for me to be able to sit with colleagues and friends in discussion.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And let me know if there is any book that you go to when you're feeling low and not motivated.
That's a difficult question because there are so many different ones. But the one that I am sitting with tonight and aware of is Arnold Mindell. Arnold Mindell, the founder of the Process Work Institute in Washington. He's written several books, but the one book that I love to go and page around with is his book on quantum mind, quantum body, and it really is bringing together psychology with physics and humanity with quantum information and data. So it's a dance with the systemic wholeness of who we are and who the world is and what the world is that we live in. So I think that's part of what feeds my explorer is
Uh,
that quantum mind, that we are part of something much bigger than the body that we think we occupy.
yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
So, Marita, now let's talk about why should anyone join your session at the Leadership Summit 2023?
I was touched when I read the focus of the summit, and I think that when there is such a focus and an important focus on culture and how we create culture, I think that if anybody is really interested in systems inspired and how culture is created from and through the system itself, this would be a good session for them to come to, because I believe that culture really is the personality of the organization or the team or the so culture is really important. And how do we co-create and nurture a life-giving, successful, entrepreneurial, but globally aware culture that creates a sense of belonging and that creates efficacy in what we do as team members and as leaders. So it really is, how do we co-create the emergence of culture consciously? So I think that if anybody is really interested in that, this would be a good place to come and talk and sit and think about and think through.
Certainly, Marita. And what are the three key takeaways from your session for our participants?
Yeah. Um, I will bring some attention to, so we talk about that there are three intelligences. We know about emotional intelligence and social intelligence. Um, there's a takeaway that I would love for people to have that is about relationship systems intelligence, that the relationship itself has its own intelligence. And there are 5 principles that we hold for that. So I will focus mostly on one of the principles of relational systems intelligence is that systems are in a constant state of emergence. Systems are not static, it's constantly evolving. And how do we dance and work with that rather than react to it? So that's one of the places that, and I believe things that people will be able to take away, that systems intelligence. The other thing is that I believe is an important takeaway when we think about shaping culture is that I hold that there are in this systemic evolution, and I'm not talking about people as systems evolving, that there are 3 phases of systemic evolution that we need to be really aware of. Whether it is working with our teams or whether it is working focusing on the whole relationship, there are 3 phases that we need to be able to recognize and work with. And the first of those phases is meet. What we do at the moment, actually, you have set up meeting between me, you, me and the participants, me, and that's meeting. It's a really important thing so that we don't assume we know who the person is or the people are, but meeting. So meeting is a very important phase in the evolution. The second one is that phase of revealing to the team, to the organization, what really is going on. So that stage, that phase of revealing is very important for us because it gives us really important data in terms of what's trying to emerge. And in that revealing, it's not so much focusing on each of the individuals, it's really is that focus of what is emerging for us as a team, what is trying to happen for us as an organization. So meet and then revealing. And then that third phase that is about having met, now having seen and talked and worked with some of what is emerging, what is it that we can align and act on? So that third phase is about getting down to what is the next thing we can and will do. Because if we just meet and be nice, we don't get anywhere. If we only reveal and we see the conflict and the things that that's fatiguing. So we need to meet, we need to reveal, and then what is it that we can take away to align and act on so that we can begin to move in a direction. So I think those two, the relationship systems intelligence, that principle of emergence, and then how do we meet, how do we reveal, how do we align and act, um, are two of the primary things we'll be focusing on. And from that, I think a third outcome is that I really like to use examples and have people think and work with what it is that they're facing. So my high dream is that there will be an outcome that people will be able to go back to the office, to their team, to their organization, to their family with, okay, let me do something a little bit differently. And let's play with it in this way. And let me really go and meet with people and not think I know who they are or where they are. So that's sort of a capsule.
It was thoroughly enjoyable, Marita, to have you discussing all these things. Thank you for being with us, and we are really looking forward to your session at the Leadership Summit
So
2023.
so do I. We'll see you later in this month and dig deeper and talk more.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.